Shalom, this is Levi Shore. Welcome back to Sweet and Good Torah. Once again, we have our guest, Rabbi Mordehay Darwish, and we're talking about the second day of Maaseh Bereishit. And any wise words you have to start here, or should we go right to the Pesukim?
Yeah, we can go straight to the verses.
Okay, let me see if I share it here. We're trying to get the Pesukim up. Okay, we're doing the second day of creation. Okay, so it should be on the screen. So the first pasuk, it starts Vayomer Elokim. So still, all throughout the Maaseh Bereishit, we have the aspect of din and judgment from Hashem. And he says, Vayehi Rekia, Yehi Rekia Besoch Hamayim. Let there be firmament, division, atmosphere, expanse. They find it as here in the midst of the water. Vehi Mavdio Bein Mayim Lamayim. And it should be a separation between water from the water. What do you think?
So, the first thing I would say, you look at the word Vayomer. Vayomer connotes like a soft speech, right? It's different from the Daber, right? They both mean speech in English. I guess you can't say it any other way, but one's a strong speech and one's a softer speech. This one is a softer speech, even though it is the aspect of judgment, which is Elohim, right?
Yeah.
The second thing I'd say, Rakia is firmament. What is firmament? If you understand it, it's really air. It's really space between between the upper waters and the lower waters. Lower waters, what we know is the seas and that kind of stuff. But the upper waters are waters that are suspended up in outer space. It's not so much known, but there is a book out there, if anybody knows, The Coming Revolution, that talks about that and shows what NASA has found out there. There is water. So Rakia would be just the air that we breathe, the oxygen.
I think there's a famous book by the Chida. It's a Kabbalah sefer. It's called Chesed LaAbraham, and he shows these different levels of the Rakiim and the orbits of the planets, and we can maybe take a look at that at some point. But right, we see. Clearly we see one Rakia as the atmosphere. We see this major division between, I think the first Rakia is like the sky and the ocean. So there's water above in the clouds, and then there's the sky and moisture in the sky, and then there's the ocean below. And then this drastic Rakia, the next Rakia, I think they call it Vilon, of like between the atmosphere and space, between the sky and space. And then, right, I think as you were saying, the Chida, you were saying there's many Rakias. So there's many spheres, and it goes, and the Rambam, even Yesodei HaTorah, he was talking about the Gigalim, the planets, and he was talking about this massive sphere. The ninth sphere is then all the Mazalos, all the constellations are in that sphere around like the solar system. So it's the
other thing I would say is that Rakia would be like a person's brain, right? It's God, so to speak, is separating from the upper waters. Yeah. The upper Torah and the lower waters, the lower Torah. There's the higher elevated, more spiritual ideas, and the lower stuff that pertains to more day-to-day stuff. Because again, when you said water is akin to Torah. Yeah. So that's what it's alluding to here.
Right. I think there's that concept that man is like I forgot the exact Lashon, it's like an Olam Katan, like a small universe. A man is a small scale universe. And then there's the massive universe we all live in. And then the Beis HaMikdash, the temple, was like an interface between us, the little universe, and the big universe. And right, in our bodies, we have like the top three Sefiros are like the brain, the intellect, and the neshama, the Keser, Chakma, Bina, and then down to Chesed, Gevura, and Tiferes is like the upper waters here. We have like the blood pumping through our body. We have the liquid pumping through our body, and then we have the lower waters. We have the Netzach, Hod, Yesod, the lower waters that come out from a person, usually like a Bocella, some of the waste waters that come out, but the digestive waters, right? We see the universe. And I saw this really cool in a Kabbalah sefer. It says we can even do like the universe contains hot winds and cool winds. And it's like when we keep our lips like really tightly pressed together, we get a cool wind. And if we open up our mouth, we get a hot wind. It's interesting. So we have all the qualities in the universe, like Hashem's created inside a person. Like we are little universes, and we're inside this big universe. Yeah, I don't know. It's a deep concept. We would really have to go far into Kabbalah, safers. We'll maybe go the next pasuk. Keep going here. So Vaya'as Elokim Es harakia. So then Elokim, he made the rakia. V'yavdil bein hamayim asher metachas l'rakia uvein hamayim asher mi'al l'rakia. Vayihi chen. So right, Elokim, he made the rakia, and he separated between the water that's below the rakia and the water that's above the rakia, and it was so.
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of obviously midrashim. Midrashim are ways to understand the Torah that expound on it, because right, we're just going through the written Torah and we're explaining, stuff that's given to us in an oral Torah and the way to understand it. Because otherwise, you can like change change everything, and mess it up. You see the first thing above, we said Vayomer Yirakia, and then we said Vayas Tarakia. And he spoke and then he made it. Right? So the sages say, like, how do we know that words are like actions? They're actually doing, right? It says Bidvar Hashem Shemaim Nesu. Right, with the words of God, the heavens were created. So first something is spoken, and then it becomes concrete. And that's that. We see that happening right now. Another thing is the upper waters and the lower waters. Well, the lower waters complained. Right, the lower waters complained to God. Why do we have to be down here with man's sins and all that stuff? So God, so to speak, like he gave them consolation. And he said, don't worry, man will make you into salt, and salt will be brought on the altar, every sacrifice that's brought. And today we have an illusion of that, and we bring salt on our tables because we don't have an altar. And today our tables that we dine on are altars. So we bring salt on every meal that we have.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's but I think this is, and then where are we? See, this is always interesting, because on the fourth day, we actually see the formation of the planets and the stars, and Hashem puts everything in their place. So here we're kind of like, the earth is in this like I don't even know what I think primordial is a word, it's used a lot, but that it doesn't have a lot of meaning for us, but right, it's in this state. And I was just reading recently in the Midrashim, like, right, there was water covering the entire planet on the second day. So earth was just completely covered with water. There was no land yet. That's going to be on the third day. So it's really not an earth that's habitable yet.
No, it's all water.
And I think what's interesting is this is the only day. Was this the day?
Yeah, we're going to see it's not completed. Also, the separation. So separation connotes fighting.
Yeah.
God doesn't like fighting. He doesn't like separation. He likes togetherness. So, and also likes completion. And in this day, the day wasn't completed. It's the only day that says it wasn't good.
Yeah, it's right. It's the only day that Hashem doesn't say it's good. And then we see, but then what's interesting, on the third day, that kind of like then brings peace between the first 2 days. It is good is said twice on the third day. So right, Hashem doesn't like machlokas, he doesn't like separation, but this separation was necessary, for life to be able to exist. Like, this was part of the Maaseh Bereishit, is part of the creation. So sometimes separation is necessary, but it's not ideal. It's not what Hashem thinks is good. Like Hashem says, it's not good for man to be alone. It's like he created, Chava, he created the Ezer Kenegdo, like it's good. Hashem wants, he wants people together. He wants marriages. He wants families. So, right, the separation on this day is not ideal, but sometimes it's a necessary building, to get to where we need to go.
Right. It also says that Gehenna was created on this day.
Yeah.
Right. Gehenna is, where purgatory, where a person goes to get his sins clean.
And I think the Malachim, I think the angels were created on the second day. So all of Hashem's legions of, his armies of angels, Malachim serving him, and everything in the spiritual world. And it's also, as we said before, on the first day, that the Torah is compared to Mayim. So it's kind of interesting, because like now the world is just completely covered with water, and there's like lower Torah, the water's below, and there's upper Torah. the Torah above, but we need like a yabasha. We need a dry land. You think it would be like ideal, like if water's Torah, like why didn't Hashem make us, like these sea creatures, right? Like we could just be immersed in the water. But it's interesting because somehow this is not ideal. Even though we would think like, oh, we could all be like Lahavdil, like Aquaman, live in Atlantis under the water, and water's Torah, we'd be completely immersed. But somehow in this physical world, we need to be on dry land. We need water to survive. We can't survive without water, but we need some kind of dry land in this physical world, to interact with the water, interact with the Torah, interact with it all.
Right. And you have the next verse, which kind of sums it up.
Yeah. So then it ends by Yikra Elokim L'Rakia Shemayim. And then Hashem Elokim, he calls out to this Rakia, he calls out to the sky, and he calls it, this is heaven. These are the heavens, And then Vayihi Erev, Vayihi Boker, Yom Sheni. And now is the second day. So the first day was just Yom Echad. It was a day of complete unity. There was no second day yet. There was only one day. There's no first day because there's no second day. There was only one perfect unity, just Hashem. And now Hashem's creating other things. Hashem's creating malachim. He's creating angels. It's not just Hashem there's created living things on the second day.
Yeah,
now it's interesting. All these legions of angels. Why isn't that good? Why isn't Hashem not saying and it's good? You see, it's good. It's a huge question there.
Well, we got to say that the universe was created for a reason, right? And the reason have both good and evil in it, and so man can come and choose between the good and the evil, right? There's no purpose in creation and in describing us how creation was made, right? If you're not going to tell us the purpose of it, right? So the whole thing is leading up to purpose out there.
Right, because this was not the goal. This was a step. So the Malachim, as wondrous and incredible as they are, they're these spiritual beings that are so far beyond us in so many ways. They live in the Shemayims. They have a closer, they're closer to Hashem. They're closer to this infinite being. They don't have the Yetzer Hara. They don't have this impulse for evil. So they're only serving Hashem. But yet, it's interesting. This is not the purpose. This was not the purpose of all creation. This is not good yet because people. Human beings, that's the goal. That's the goal of all this is human beings, people with bechira, with free will, that can choose between this, can choose between the good and the evil, and choose good over the evil, and ultimately defeat the evil. And this is only a step on the path. The second day, the separation, it's only a step. But the goal is to get to, the Adam, to the person, to the human being.
Right. You'll see they called the Rakia. We called
we're back.
We called the Rakia Shamayim, right?
Yeah.
And the sages split it up as a Shamayim. There's water, right? It's also called Esh and Mayim, water and fire. So we understand that everything is contained within water. Like our universe is mainly water. We're breathing in. There's always some humidity in the air. Right? There's never like zero humidity. There's always some kind of water going on. Water it's really a necessity for life. We need it. Without it, it's just awful. Go ask California how it is. It's close to Florida. Florida's full of water. California is dying of no water. Right.
But it's interesting too. As much as mankind has begun to explore a little bit at the Shemayims, we just really scratched the surface. There's these spheres upon spheres of spiritual worlds, expanding out to spiritual worlds, getting closer and closer to the Ein Sof, closer and closer to the infinite being. And then as you go up into these spiritual worlds, there is no evil anymore. Evil starts to diminish. Evil starts to diminish until you get up to I forgot if it's Berea, the first spiritual world where there's no evil at all anymore. It's like that's the world of the Kisei Kavod. That's the world of Hashem's throne. There's no evil anymore once you get up to Berea. Yeah,
it kind of goes like this: the world of sorry.
Let me bring up. Let me bring up.
Yeah, bring up the worlds
here. I don't know if I have a thing of the worlds here, but we can show by maybe the spheros, and then we can get a graphic of the worlds maybe for the next day. Let me see here. Let's just bring up the spheros. I think it would give us a little bit of a glimpse of So right, so we talked about
Oh.
before, Malchus is the world of Asiya. This is the
Right.
world.
That's the lowest world. That's
And
the
then this
lowest.
breaks down
Well,
into 10 sephiros. When this becomes the Partsuf of Nukva, the princess gets her own 10 sephiros. And then you go up to the next world of Yetzira, of Zeranpin, the prince.
right.
And that's when we start to gaze into, now where would that be? Like the solar system, or is that beyond the telescopes?
No. We're talking about the Machar is the world of Asiya. That's everything physical.
Okay.
Right? That's down below. Right?
Yeah.
That's the world. Right. And in it, evil is more than good.
Now I heard Rabbi Moshe.
Then you go.
Yeah.
Then you go.
Oh, sorry. Okay, you go.
Then you go up to the world of Yetzira.
Right.
Okay, which is yes, the ones you're circling right now, right?
And this is the world of the Malachim, right?
That's the world of the angels,
Yeah.
and it's 50-50 over there. The good and evil are balanced.
Okay. Now, when
you
we
go
look
up-
at the stars, is it in? Are we looking at Yetzira?
No.
Or
You're
are the stars all? Yeah.
It's all in Asiya. Everything that's
when we
physical is in
yeah.
Asiya.
So the
Everything-
constellation, solar system, So
everything's like a movie.
Yeah.
Everything's like a movie.
I heard recently from Rabbi Moshe Heinemann. I've been asking him this question for years, and he answered me recently. Maybe we're getting very close to Mashiach. I don't know. But he said, like Asiya, the world of Asiya is broken up into physical, purely physical, like the earth. But then it starts to get into, like what you're saying, like a little bit, mix between physical and spiritual. So already the moon, the sun, the solar system may be not 100% physical anymore. It's starting to get into more ruchnius than we're used to.
No, they are more spiritual entities. That's what the Rambam says. They do have an identity, and they know God. They're closer to God. They know God more than we do.
Yeah.
But getting back to the world of Yetzirah, you have 50-50 good and evil.
Yeah.
And then you go up to Bina, where you have the world of
But
Bria.
I'm saying, do you think the constellations are in Yetzirah, or are they all in Asiya, and we can't even see the world of Yetzirah? We can't really see.
So it's all the way the light comes down is that
Yeah.
you can't see the next world.
Okay.
You can only see this world.
Okay.
Right. So everything you're seeing is in the physical world. It's in the
Wow.
Mach.
Wow.
Right. It's in Asiya. Because
So-
the light is like a projector. It goes from the projector, right? And then as it expounds, it goes out and becomes more and more physical until it finally hits the screen, right? If you think of a movie theater, right?
it's
You're only going to
massive.
see what's on the screen. You're not going to see it while it's coming through.
Yeah.
But as it's coming through, it's becoming more and more clear
Wow.
what was in concentration. So, when you go up to the world of Bria, which is in Bina, so that's where, like you said, the Kisei Kavod, the throne of glory is, and there good is more than evil. And then when you get up to Chachma, right, that's the world of Atzilut, which is all good. There is no separation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
right. There's no separation.
Closer and closer to
the source. Right. The closer you get to the source, the better it is.
Yeah.
Now we say Sof Maaseh b'machshavat chila, at the end of action, first came thought, right? And what's in Keter is eventually going to come down to Malchut. What's in the world of let's say Adam Kadmon, even above Atzilut, is going to come down to Maaseh. It's going to come down to our world, to Asiya. Right. So we say it's all good, right? The Jewish mantra, it's all good. It wasn't Biggie Smalls, right? It was Rabbi Akiva, right? Everything that God does, He does for the good, right? That was Rabbi Akiva, and his Rebbe said, Gam Zulatov. This too is for the good, right? Because what starts off is good, even though while it's coming down, it doesn't look like it's good, right? But that's because it's not complete. It takes us back to the second day. Anything that's not complete is considered not good. But we know that at the completion, at the end, it will be good, right? It'll be Tov Me'od. On the sixth day, it was called Tov Me'od, very good, right? And so that's what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with a world that hasn't become Tov Me'od just yet. It will at the end of 6,000 years. Right now, we're in 5782, right?
Yeah. Right. It seems all crazy sometimes, but we really look at the world that Hashem created. I mean, it's beautiful. The Maaseh Bereishit, I mean, just the sunrises, the sunsets, the clouds, even the rain. Even sometimes we don't want rain, but it's beautiful, and the flowers it brings and the trees. And when we really look at the Maaseh Bereishit, when we look at the creation, we really start to see how much Hashem really loves us and cares about us. But we get lost in all of our shtus, all of our stuff. And sometimes we don't appreciate the beauty of creation. We don't appreciate the beauty every day of like this world that Hashem's giving us.
Well, if you look at the most successful businesses, the most successful athletes, or successful in anything, they have their vision and their focus on their goal, right? And they stick to the goal. And every day they do things, little steps to get to that goal, right? And the people who don't have goals are just kind of like lost. They're kind of like just like wandering. And since the world doesn't know what the purpose of creation is, which is for man to earn the good and to choose between the good and evil, to go to the ultimate world that is all good and receive that reward, then they're just like floundering out there, and they're trying to satisfy their urges, their bodily urges in their way. And they might be doing it in a kosher manner, right? Quote unquote kosher manner, but they're really just trying to satisfy their physical existence in a kosher manner. And that's why there's so much like sorrow in the world. And like you said, they don't look at how beautiful creation is, how wondrous it is, how awesome it is. And it was all created for man. Right? It was all created for man to come and see it and recognize his creator and give thanks to his creator, right? We're called the Jewish people, right? Jewish is bad because it takes away from what the real meaning is, right? We come from Yehuda, right? Yehuda is we're Yehudim, right? We're Yehudim, which are the Jews, translated as Jews, but they come from the tribe of Judah, and it was his mother, Leah, was the first person to give thanks, right, in the world, right? And she was the first person to give thanks. Why did she give thanks? Because she recognized she got more than she actually deserved, right? When she saw that she got more than she actually deserved, she called him Yudah, right? Which means to thank, to acknowledge and to thank that you got more than you actually deserve. And, if a person is humble and sees that he doesn't deserve anything, right? He didn't create himself. He didn't create his existence and the world around him. So he'll naturally thank God, right? He'll naturally thank the Creator for giving him more than he was supposed to get. And that's really the point of it all. Recognize the Creator, to give thanks to the Creator, and be happy with what the Creator did. But lack of acknowledgement of that leads us to be just like everybody else.
I think it's beautiful. Like the Yehudim, like our job is really doing what Leah did when she named Yehuda. Like we should be thankful. Like, and the more we're thankful of everything Hashem's giving us, and I think that's the thing. And that's why I don't think like Hashem likes it when we complain. That's why all the times in the Torah when we complain, we're in the midbar, we're missing it. We're missing our job as Yehudim is to be happy, and we have to show the world how beautiful it is, this world that Hashem created for us. And the more we praise Hashem, the more, we make the bracha when we eat. Oh, thank you for this food. And we make brachas when we smell a nice fragrance, or we make a bracha, we see a rainbow. We make a bracha when, we hear thunder or we see lightning. And that's it. If we're going around doing the mitzvos, thanking Hashem, doing tefillah, tehillim, when we're doing our job, the world starts to get it. It becomes so, when we're thanking Hashem and we're grateful, there's no question that there's a Hashem. There's no question there's an infinite being that loves us all. They start to see it so clearly, and it's like the more we can, do what we were created for, our role in creation. The more we can do our role, and we're gonna go to great places, and we're gonna reach that, like you're saying, that tov ma'od, which is the goal. Everything's really good, and we get so lost in our craziness sometimes that, but
that's the source of blessing. Our blessings are really an acknowledgement of the source, of the Creator of whatever it is we're acknowledging. Right. And so when you acknowledge, that's when you have blessing. Right. And that's what our blessings, we bless things, right? It's that acknowledgement gives us that blessing. So when a person's all around them acknowledging constantly, like we're supposed to do, right? Like you said, whether we taste something, we smell something, we see something, or anything like that, or something happens, and we just acknowledge it's all from the Creator, and we acknowledge it's all good, then we're like Biggie, it's all good, baby.
So it's interesting. It's like Yom Echad, the first day was Sunday, and Yom Sheni, it was Monday. And it's funny that everyone has this like ingrained in them. They're like, oh, it's Monday, because it's like in the Western world, it's that first day of work for most people. They're not used to starting the week on Sunday or the first day. But it's interesting because ingrained, everyone's like, oh, it's that second day. But I think it's beautiful because The second day has a purpose. And sometimes things that seem crazy to us in life, things that like seem to be separating us from other people, it's a step to get us more together, to get us closer, like this Golas. Hashem takes us out of the land of Israel. You know, we have these Golases, these exiles. We're exiled from our land. You know, we're separated all over the world. We're not together. And it's all for the goal of like when Mashiach comes and brings all the Jews back together. And then we gather in Yerushalayim, we gather in Jerusalem for Pesach, for Passover, for, you know, Shavuos, for Sukkot, and we're all together and we see the Shekinah of Hashem, and it's all leading to that Tov Ma'od, that very good. And sometimes the separation in life, the second day, these Mondays, sometimes we need these Mondays to get going, you know, to get it all going. Anything? Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good to leave it here right now. Anything final you want to add, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, like just one final thought is the 7 days are really connected to the 7 Sefirot. And the first day was Chesed.
And let me go back here. I'm going to go back real quick to that to finish up. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So the first day
was Chesed, right? Then the second day is Gevura. Gevura. So and Chesed is kindness, and Gevura is judgments, right? So we don't want judgments. Judgments are harsh, right? They're tough. That's why everybody doesn't. There's something going on Monday, right?
Yeah. No, it's self-control too. It's Gavur is the strength of self-control. We force ourselves time to go back to work for in the Western world.
Right. You gotta control yourself. All the goodness, all the partying on Sunday with the football and stuff has to end. It has to end and go back to. We gotta wait for Monday night football, right? Monday night. That's when the Tiferet. All
right. That's where we're going to Gevura to Tiferet. So going to the balance.
Going to start. It's important. Like we use the word Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all that stuff. But those we got to recognize that those names are named after gods, people who the sun, the moon, and so on and so forth. And so it really disconnects us from the essence of reality.
Yeah,
that's it doesn't let us do our job.
Yom Rishon Shel Shabbos, Yom Sheni Shel Shabbos. It's always the first day of Shabbos, the second day of Shabbos. We really, it's good to reconnect to that. That's a great point.
Yeah. So when you connect it to creation, the days and what's happening in your life, and you create it to the Creator, that's really the essence that we spoke of acknowledging the truth of existence.
Wow. And then Netzach, and then the fourth day, what we're calling Wednesday, is Netzach, eternity. You know, and Hod, the empathy, the day of empathy is Thursday. And then Yesod, the relationships, the foundation, like we're heading Erev Shabbos, we're heading into Shabbos, and then Malchus is the Shabbos HaKodesh, the Holy Shabbos. All right, I think that's good for right now. I think it's a lot, to digest. It's pretty high level stuff here, and we'll get ready to do the third day, the third day of Maaseh Bereishit.
Definitely. Just remember, tell everybody to subscribe, like, and share your videos.
Okay. And if you guys have any questions, we're more than happy to answer your question. We'd love to get questions from you guys and hear what you guys are thinking. I thank you so much, and we hope to see you again soon. Shalom and all the best.